All right, welcome to the State of the Game podcast. I'm your host, GT. It is Monday, May the 12th of 2025, man. We got a lot to get into, man. I'm gonna get into some sports today, but also I'm gonna delve into some deeper subjects as well. We can go ahead and get started, but please keep in mind to keep it copacetic in the comments as you listen to the commentary. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. Let's go, people. Let's like it up. Let's subscribe. Spread the word, man. To God be the glory at all times. Please do not get it twisted. God is at the forefront of everything I do, man. So let's get it. Let's get started, all right? All right. So let's talk about, first off, let's get into the NBA playoff action from this weekend, man. So we have Minnesota that went ahead and into Golden State, and they won their matchup against Golden State, 102-97. The series as it stands right now is at 2-1, and here's my thoughts on everything that's going on surrounding this series. Don't get it twisted. First and foremost, hats off to Ant Edwards and Rudy Gobert and crew. They're actually putting in the work to get the job done, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, looking at this game, man, I cannot help but think that Golden State, they dropped the ball. And it wasn't just dropping the ball as far as the game was concerned. Sure, they had some snafus with Jimmy Butler and Buddy Hield going down the stretch, and of course Looney and Draymond Green both fouled out, which pretty much eliminated their defense going down the stretch. But it also speaks to a deeper issue, man. And I tell you what, I saw a tweet from Jalen Rose, where he talked about basically the Warriors trading Poole and missing out on a few draft picks since they lost Kevin Durant is killing them right now. And I basically retweeted it and quoted it back to him, saying basically I was thinking the same exact thing at the same exact time. Yeah, you get rid of Poole for whatever reason. We know the controversy and what happened between him and Draymond a couple of years ago. But you look at the free agency and you look at the draft picks that the Warriors have been doing the past few years. They pretty much bet the house on Kuminga, and they've made strides trying to get some people like Buddy Hield and Jimmy Butler and things of that nature, which is all well and good, but I feel as if they dropped the ball when it comes to Poole. And I think, in my humble opinion, I mean, you guys can feel however you want to feel as far as Klay Thompson is concerned. I don't think he should be gone either. But it's those small little tidbits and snafus that happens with all championship teams. Let's get that clear. It happens with all championship teams, especially in the age of free agency and things of that nature. You can't hold on to team cores for an extended period of time. People going to ask for money. You know, it's the name of the game now. It's the nature of the beast now. But at the same token, the team suffers because of it. Okay. Like I said, though, on Minnesota's side, congrats to them. Ant Edwards is showing up. He's balling out of control. You know, he had a little hiccup, a little speed bump first half, but once the second half started kicking in, he started really getting into his element and really doing what he needed to do in order for the Timberwolves to win. And Rudy Gobert is just staying solid, man. He's playing solid defense. He's being a presence in the paint, man. That's what they need. That's what they need. They need a big man presence in the paint. So the other thing that I would want to say on Golden State side before we move forward is Charles Barkley said something on Inside the NBA after the game. He was basically like, man, Steph needs a raise. I kind of agree with that, because when you look at the team dynamic, when Steph is not on the floor, that is a huge detriment to the squad, man. When he is not there, he is the engine. He is what makes the team go, man. And when he's on the floor, the team looks completely different. So that being said, man, yeah, he's definitely due for a raise, man. Because, like I said, the team is completely different when he's not on the floor. Okay. Let's move on to the next, and I want to talk about this other guy that he's with the Nuggets, and they've been doing their thing as of late as well. Man, let's talk about Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, man, listen. In Orlando, he was he was a part of a lot of the slam dunk contests and things of that nature. He was basically that type of guy. He was the slam dunk guy. He was the highlight reel guy. I tell you what, he's gotten to Denver and he has really, really progressed as a basketball player, all-around basketball player as well. A clutch basketball player. He's filling all the right spots that Denver needs to basically move forward in the playoffs, man. He has stepped up huge, man. So big props to him, man. Denver's looking pretty decent right now. But as long as he keeps playing at the level that he's playing and stays consistent, I think they will do wonders. I think they will go far. Okay. Another guy on that vein that I've seen make a quantum leap this year as far as his clutch gene, as far as how he's playing in pressure situations, is your Tyrese Halliburton over there at Indiana. Good grief, man. He's playing like a house on fire, man. He's doing everything he needs to do for his team to win. And I tell you what, the series now is I think it's at 3-1. And we're talking about a Cleveland team that basically blew the brakes off of Miami Heat. Okay? So for Cleveland to come off of that type of high with Donovan Mitchell to run into Indiana and see what Indiana has been doing to them, hey, that tells you a lot about what Tyrese Halliburton has been doing for the past couple of weeks, man. He's been putting in work, bro, and it's starting to show. Okay, he's becoming a high caliber player. He's becoming an elite player. He's stepping into that realm. Okay, and the further they go into the playoffs, the more that'll be prevalent as well. Now let's talk about Boston and New York. It goes like this. Boston has lost its edge. Sure, New York is a game team. They're a relatively young team, and they're a hungry team. Brunson always plays with that type of hunger, and he leads the way, which allows for your cat to Karl Anthony Towns to basically, follow that lead. So that's good on New York's end, but on Boston's end, man, I tell you what, the chickens have come to roost. What do I mean by that? There's a number 2 seed in the Western Conference that's at home right now, called the Houston Rockets, and their head coach is Ime Udoka. Okay, he took a very young, very immature, very green Houston to a number 2 seed in the Western Conference, dude. That tells you everything you need to know. If he was in Boston right now, I do not think the series would be where it is right now. I don't think Boston as a franchise would be where it is right now. I think they would be one of the more elite teams, perennial teams, each and every year to win a championship. Ime Udoka is the one that put those pieces together, and he knew how to maximize on your Jason Tatum, how to maximize on your Jaylen Brown, okay? He's the one that knows how to operate that team. And when you let him go for, let's just call it unceremonious activities, which come to, which hindsight is 2020, come out to be much to do about nothing. Then what you have? You have a team that's uninspired. You have a team that even with the coach that they have, I'm not knocking Mazzulla at all. He's a good coach. But even with the coach and the scheme and the whole setup that they have now, I think they would be just that much better if they had the architect of that squad still coaching, which is Ime Udoka. All right. So now let's get on to the next subject. I want to talk about the New Orleans Saints. Okay, so this weekend, early this weekend, you had Derek Carr. He basically announced his retirement for whatever reason. Obviously, he's had a decent career, a long career. The injuries probably caught up with him, whatever the case may be. But congrats to him. Wish him the best of luck in everything he does in the future moving forward. But this isn't about him, okay? My issue is with the Saints as a franchise, and here's why. My thing is, if you know that you have, I'm pretty sure as the general manager, I'm pretty sure he knew that he would have Derek Carr basically on his last legs, no matter how you cut it, no matter how you looked at it, moving forward. With that being said, though, you had your shot at Shedeur Sanders. As a matter of fact, you had the best shot at Shedeur Sanders. So it really boggles the mind. As a matter of fact, you had a plethora of your experts and your pundits all during the draft process that was basically saying, oh, this is a sure shot for the Saints to pick up Shedeur Sanders. But they didn't. Okay? And just for Derek Carr to turn right around, not even a month later, and announce his retirement has to be a shot in the foot. You shot yourselves in the foot, okay? So that just basically tells me a lot about how these owners and how these general managers drop the ball when it comes to really evaluating talent, okay? Don't evaluate everything else. Don't evaluate everything else, okay? Evaluate the talent. Tell me what the tape says, because as far as I'm concerned, and I'm just being objective as I don't know what, because I'm not even a Saints fan. I'm actually a Ravens fan. When you look at the tape, there is no way, there's no possible scenario where you don't tell me that, where you can tell me that if the opportunity presented itself like it did, you don't pick up on one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And you can't tell me that you will pick up on other quarterbacks that were lower down the totem pole than he was. It made zero sense, okay? So, yeah, I'm just taking a look at that, and I tell you what, even though Cleveland passed up on him 5 times, we get it, all of that good stuff, they did pick him up. And trust me when I tell you, if history, presents itself the way that it normally has, when you come across players and they're passed up by teams and their stock is lower and they fall in the draft and things of that nature, they tend to make other teams pay, okay? They tend to remember those teams that passed up on them. They tend to remember those teams that basically gave them bad scores or bad evaluations or things of that nature. So yeah, be on the lookout, okay? I'll be taking a close look at Cleveland's schedule coming up this year as far as the regular season and the preseason. I want to see exactly who he plays, and I want to see exactly what he does against all those teams. All right. So next up, let's see. Also, speaking of Ravens, speaking of my squad, I know this happened. I think this happened a couple of months ago, but I want to send a congrats to Terrell Suggs for getting nominated for the Hall of Fame, man. T Sizzle is in the Hall of Fame, man. That's beautiful, bro. He gets to join his brother Ray Lewis, and he gets to join his brother Ed Reed, part of that indomitable defense that the Ravens were known to be by for years and years and years. He gets to finally join them in that Hall of Fame, and finally gets to put on that yellow jacket, man. That's congrats to you, man. Congrats, salute, good job, bro. Also, looking at some other things that's been going on this weekend. Let's get into some entertainment stuff. So, I hear people joking and talking about the whole Diddy situation. Talking about how he looked at trial and things of that nature, how he had a head full of gray hair and this, that, and the third. Listen, man, he's not young. Shucks, I'm 46 and I barely have it, but I do have gray hair. He's older than me, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna have some gray hair, dude. It's no big deal. He's in prison. They don't have just for men in prison. I don't think they do, but I mean, the stuff people joke about, the stuff people make news, the stuff people decide to make hot topics is just mind-boggling to me at times. On that note, I mean, the man's fighting for his life. Let's be honest. He's fighting for his career. He's fighting for his life outside. So, simply put, I don't think he can give a crap about how his hair looks at this point. He's trying to get free. He's trying to get home, man. So, yeah, just the stuff people talk about at times is just crazy. The stuff that they like to joke and laugh about, you know, just those things. It's a social media thing, I guess. I get it. Also, I got a chance to check out a couple of things this weekend as well. Talking about one thing, we're talking about Kendrick Lamar. And Fat Joe says in his in the Hip Hop DX article, he says that no West Coast artist has ever dominated like Kendrick Lamar. Now, Fat Joe said this. Okay. Now, a lot of you guys know, well, most of you guys know, that before any of my exploits, as far as getting my degrees and going back to school and things of that nature, I was doing music for over 20 years. So I say this with a lot of pedigree. I say this with a lot of skin in the game. I say this as a historian and as still a fan of mostly all genres of music. I mean, I'm an artist. That's what I do. I'm a musician. Okay. The revisionist history is crazy. The revisionist history is nuts. Okay, Kendrick Lamar had a good year, man. Don't get it twisted. I'm not knocking Kendrick Lamar at all. He's actually top 2 to me as far as right now. In between him and J. Cole, and he's probably not 2. You know, so I mean, he's up there to me. As far as his artistry, as far as his expression, as far as his work inside the studio, his production, the thing, a whole 9 yards of the entire package that is Kendrick Lamar, I rock with, okay? But at the same time, let's not get this messed up. Listen, one good year, I can remember vividly when Dr. Dre introduced Snoop Doggy Dogg, that part. Okay. I can vividly remember when Gin and Juice and What's My Name and Murder Was the Case, and all this stuff was, I mean, man, just dropping back to back to back to back. Literally, man, listen, it was a good 2 or 3 year stretch where Snoop dominated the airwaves, man. This is before No Limit. This is Death Row. This is early Death Row, when Snoop was just everywhere, dude. And he's one of the most popular people in the world still to this day. Okay? So, that being said, dude, come on, man. Fat Joe, you should know better than that. You should know better than that. And it's not just Snoop. We won't even get into Pac and what he did from basically from Me Against the World to All Eyes on Me to Machiavelli, where he just basically dominated the entire scene as well. Yes, he had stiff competition from Biggie Smalls, but let's trust me when I tell you, when it comes to anything South, anything in the South or anything out West, they'll tell you it was Pac. Okay, Biggie Smalls he had hits, but he did most of his dirt in the East Coast. Let's just not get it twisted. He was the king of New York. Yes, he was. But as far as the South was concerned, and as far as the West Coast was concerned, it was basically Pac. Okay. So, and then if you want to go take a step back even further, the entire movement that was NWA, the entire movement that was NWA changed the entire landscape of the game. Okay, they introduced gangster rap to the mainstream. All right, gangster rap was there, but they commercialized it and they brought it to the mainstream for the masses to consume. Okay, so that's three different. Okay, that's NWA. You got Tupac and you got Snoop. Listen, they are much more. They had a much bigger impact and were much more popular in their primes, I guess you would say. You call it their primes, than Kendrick is now. Now, if Kendrick, I guess, drop another 2 albums and he extends this whole thing for maybe like 2 or 3 more years, then we can start having that conversation. But don't get caught up in the revisionist history, especially not you, Fat Joe. You've been in the game for too long. You should know better. But yeah, that's my take on that one. And let's see, what else do we have here? We have, let's talk about Kanye. So I had a short, I guess it was a short, or maybe it was the episode 2, where I got into talking about Kanye and his mental stability and his mental health and things of that nature. So let's talk numbers now. Okay, so I see a tweet from Peter Rosenberg, and he's saying basically, big congrats to Kanye on completing the single biggest fall off in the history of entertainment. We have never ever seen anything like this before. Well, it's an interesting take. The time will tell. How it's going right now, it doesn't look too good. I'm looking at the first week sales of Donda 2, which just dropped maybe about a week or so ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago. And it sold 5.9 thousand units. Now we're talking about a Kanye West that is a billionaire. We're talking about a Kanye West that at his height, he was selling 150, close to 200,000 a first week, okay, with his other projects. To go from 150 to 200,000 to 5,000 is a pretty steep drop, okay. Also, I looked at the video where he's Hail Hitler or something, Heil Hitler or whatever the case may be. I tell you what, I peeped the game. I see what he's doing. Just like what he said about with his cousin, and then he turned around a couple of tweets after that, and he was basically like, okay, since now I'm gay, am I allowed to say the word faggot? You see what I'm saying? The F word, or so to speak. Listen, I see the game, I peep the game, I understand what he's trying to do, and I understand what he's doing. And that leads me to the deeper point that I'm gonna get into in a few minutes or so. Where sometimes people do strange things for attention. You know, it's fame is a disease. Fame is it's a virus, dude. And sometimes you get too much of it. It can really cause an adverse effect that would lead people down certain types of rabbit holes that they can barely recover from. And I think he's experiencing that as we speak. All right. So look. All right. Let's go into our last point of the day. All right. So I looked at this tweet. Okay. Speaking of people doing things for attention. So I see this tweet and this pic, and it's hard to wrap your head around in 2025, but we're here, so we have to address it. It says, my man paid my rent this month and I bought him Wingstop 50-50. Yeah. Yeah, that was said. That was actually tweeted, and you know, this stuff was put out, and I just among the several conversations I've had over the weekend, man, I tell you what, it's just the way things have changed, the way things have evolved over time. There's a lot of contributing factors, but the devaluation of moral and ethical standards in society has gotten to a very disturbing level. Listen, the attention thing, wanting to have the attention, wanting to, you know, just do anything for that attention. It's really disturbing. It's really disheartening. It's really it's kind of sad at times that you see people and the levels of delusion is insane. The levels of delusion is insane, man. Like, what do you say to some of this stuff? I literally scroll and I look at some of this stuff. I kid you not, dude. I literally shake my head and I keep it moving. It's really nothing else you could do, because some of this stuff is just ridiculous, bro. But I came across this thought, and this will be my final thought for the day. I want you to think about this. For the wrong person, nothing will ever be enough, okay? But for the right person, just your presence in most cases is enough. And I know that's kind of a relationship thing. But I venture to say that covers all types of relationships. It could be personal, it could be business, it could be platonic, it could be, you name it. Just all walks of life, all situations, all relationships. You have circumstances where you're basically doing the most for the least. To put the story short, you're doing the most for the least, and you have agendas that's behind that. You have ulterior motives that's behind that. You have all kinds of different things behind that, and all kinds of different angles as well. And it's crazy. It's all kinds of different angles too. And at the end of the day, what we all strive to do, we all strive to find those relationships and find those circles and find those teams that basically you're basically celebrated and not tolerated. Okay. That is the best way to look at it, man. You have to go into these. You have to really use your discernment. You have to really trust your gut and your instincts in this day and age, because everybody has an angle, everybody has an agenda, and you just gotta not necessarily look out for yourself, but more on a deeper note, be the person that you want somebody else to be to you. Okay, that's just another twist on the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. All right, that's my final take for the day, man. We're done. Catch you guys next week for episode 4. In the meanwhile, please, once again, like, share, and subscribe. I am GT with the State of the Game Podcast. Thank you guys, and we out.